Okay, now we're going to go over the recommended settings for your site. Let's go ahead and pull up a browser. And I already have it set to the dashboard, so we're going to go over and go down to Settings and go to General. So your general settings here is your site title, your tagline, just a brief explanation of what your site is about, the site URL, which stands for, it's a Uniform Resource Locator. It's also known as your web address. It's the same thing. Your site address right here, email address. Here's your time zone setting, and I live in Texas, so we're on daylight savings time, so it's UTC -5. And then you'll see your time right here. I don't know, you can set it to whatever you want. I just start the day of the week on Sunday. Go ahead and save your changes. And you can see the time here. If it's the time where you live, then you have it correct. Okay, and the next is writing. Formats here. These are all the default settings. We're going to be setting up your categories later, so we're going to do that a little bit later. These settings here, I would just overlook these right now. These are probably never going to be used, so yeah, we're just going to go ahead and bypass that. Reading. Okay, here are your reading settings. And since we don't have any pages built yet, we're going to go ahead and come back to this later. So we'll go on to the next one, discussion. Your discussion settings. This is where people can make comments on your blog posts. So here's all the settings for them. I usually uncheck this one. I don't like to allow people to make comments on my articles unless, I mean, it's up to you really if you want to do that or not. But here's all the settings. Users must be registered and logged in to comment. That's a good setting to have. These are all just different security settings because you may or may not want just random people to write comments on your site. So these are all just to safeguard that. I like to check this one. Comment must be manually approved. I like to check it because I like to approve it before it shows up on my site because you never know what you're going to see. So we'll go ahead and go on to the next media settings. These are all the default settings. These are fine for most sites, so you can change them if you want or not, but these are just the default settings. I always just leave them as is. Uploading files, organize my uploads into month and year-based folders. I like to uncheck this because I don't like my media in like all kinds of folders for each month, for each year. So I like to have all of my media in one area so I can see them all at once. That's just my preference. So I'm going to go ahead and check save. And now we're going to go to permalinks. Now here in your permalink settings, we're going to set up how your URLs look. For example, default, you would have a question mark P equals 123. That's kind of weird, or it doesn't really help you understand what that post is about. So you can have it, day and name, month and name, numeric. What I like to do is use post name because it'll have your web address plus it'll have the name of the post. So it's a little bit more user friendly. And also you can click on number of tags are available, and this will actually bring up just a help page from wordpress.org, and you can scroll all the way to the bottom, and it gives you some variations you can use. For example, category. I'm going to go ahead and copy that and then go back. For example, like you can create a custom structure. Let's say, for example, that you had a restaurant and you wanted some categories such as appetizers, your lunch menu, dinner menu, and your desserts. You could go ahead and put / and then your categories. So what that will do is separate each post by the category. If you wanted a food item to be listed under appetizers, if you wanted an item under lunch menu or dinner menu or desserts, you can go ahead and set it up that way. Your category could be desserts, but then your post name would be, say, apple pie, chocolate cake, ice cream, something like that. Those are all items that fit within that category of desserts. Now it's just going to go ahead and put post name just to keep it simple. And these optional features down here, we're just going to keep those at the default settings. So let's click Save. And now, like if you go to your site, you'll see Hello World. Just hover over it. And actually, if you look at the lower left-hand corner, your post is now called Hello World rather than ?123. Go back to the dashboard. Okay, and that's it for settings. The next thing we're going to talk about is setting up your free theme. Now this is getting exciting. Let's go.